What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network on a Friday, nonetheless. I'm feeling that energy today. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm pretty hyped. I'm hyped for the Friday show. I'm hyped for the weekend. I'm hyped for it all. I got the ultimate hype man with me, DMac, Darren McCarty, in the house.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Fish is in the bowl. He's feeling it. Sawyer's in the production booth. He's feeling it. Training still going on? How's it going?
Oh, yeah. We're doing good.
We got the production squad in there right now.
Yeah, Spencer's feeling good.
Spencer's
look
good.
At the security squad showing up every day.
They are.
Now, I see Spencer's closer to the door today. That means they must have heard maybe some rumblings that people are coming in. So I like them. The boys are on guard. But Sawyer, heck of a job so far. I know we got a lot of great things planned for today. Big weekend coming up for everybody. Lions won't lose, so we won't be talking about that Monday. But
we'll still discuss, and we're going to talk some college football, obviously, as well. I'm going to get you right in the second hour of the show with the Neal Rule Get Right special. Got a late night, Mountain West, a Fox Sports 2 game.
Do you want to, if you want to super tease them, just throw the name of one team, because if you throw the name of one team, not the way it goes, but they're involved, everybody knows that you know more about the West Mountain
West,
Lake game,
man. It's where
right?
I live.
Right? So
can I
just say I was intrigued, and this one I think you can take to the bank. You know, just saying, because San Jose State. This guy knows everything there is to know about San Jose State. So,
and Nevada. And Hawaii.
Yes, you do.
It is. It's my conference. And I'm really confident. Guys, I haven't given you the full-on stamp of approval in a long time, but I'm feeling this one. And we'll get to it. We'll get to it later on in the show. Got to discuss this. And DMac and I have a couple of real-world things to go to. And I think you guys will be able to relate to that. And our YouTube chat thread, if you want to get involved too, Tammy Chin says, wings, yeah. Well, yeah, we are going to discuss. I liked what I saw from the Pistons game yesterday. I'll explain that later on as well. The Red Wings game, not so much.
No, but
not so much.
We'll get
you're
going to
get those. You're going to get
what
those,
What did I
guys.
tell you about inconsistency? And we'll dive into it when we talk wings later. But peanut butter and jelly up here, baby, because we were talking last night, and you had the lockdown of the Pistons, and I was talking about some of the things I liked, and I watched every minute of that gross Wings game too. But that's what we do.
D-Mac, you know what, though, DMac? Like, I appreciate that you'll look in that camera. And look, there's no bigger proponent for the Red Wings than you, obviously. You're at the arena. You do things for the team. But you'll look in the camera when it's – you're not going to lie to the people, man.
I don't lie. That's my people, man. You know me. I just keep it consistent and enjoy my truth. And I'll tell you what I see, and it's my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right, but I got the track record. And the guys – that are making decisions, I know them pretty well. So I think I have an idea. Sometimes I don't. That's why it's hashtag Wiser Plan and hasn't changed.
Yeah, absolutely. But DMac and I and Sawyer and everybody here in the studio went down a YouTube wormhole the other day. And just out of the blue, we started talking about home runs and long home runs and things like that. And we figured we'd share it with you because, A, you go down a YouTube wormhole all the time. You know you do, whatever your subject matter is. But it got me to thinking and missing Jose Canseco.
Oh, yeah.
What a great time it was for baseball. So we went down the wormhole. Remember some of just the bombs that Jose Canseco would hit. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see. Like when the camera's got to adjust and go all the way up to the upper deck, and then the ball falls back down to the lower deck. You know that's a bomb. That was a classic Jose Canseco bomb. But none of them are the Jose, and that, I mean, just the power in that swing. And, you know, I know, steroid-induced or whatever people want to say. That's cool. Although
we're just commenting on, watch how far this ball flies.
Yeah. Now, the next one coming up from the World Series, when he was playing for Oakland against it, this is the one. This is Skydome,
This might
folks.
be the most impressive. When you fool the cameraman high, he almost hit that to the back of the Skydome.
You know, a dome stadium that seats over 50,000 people. That ball was crushed. Unbelievably crushed. But yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I know baseball is over and everything like that, and it's not really relevant to anything we're talking about. But go ahead and tell me about all your YouTube wormhole experiences. None of it was really relevant. You should have been going to sleep or something like that. You ended up staying up too late. It is, so it just got us going. And that home run, I never want this home run to die because
look, it's in the upper deck, and it's not like it just like if it just made it to the upper deck, it would be great. It's 3/4 of the way back. You see the people stand up.
And DMac, I think I told you guys this story when we were going down that wormhole a couple years ago. I went to a Blue Jays game, and we went and took a walk, and I walked up there, and they have like the seat marked where the ball hit, and I went up there and stood by that seat, and like home plate's a rumor from where I mean that's when you can really appreciate it, just how far that ball was hit. It was a mile, man. It was unbelievable. But just props to the YouTube wormhole. We'll do that from time to time.
Well, we give you a little bit behind the scenes of what we do before the show when we're all ready. When Sawyer's all buckled up, he's got the flight plan. The ship's ready to go. We just got to wait for the horn to go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and people are talking about that. DMAP Zoom says that ball got launched off the bat. Yeah, I mean it was unbelievable, man. What a time that was. But we'll do that stuff from time to time. We'll do hockey things, stupid things, football things, basketball things. We'll do it all because it's a YouTube wormhole, man. And that, you know what else that is too, Sawyer? I don't know if you guys heard this, but ESPN Classic, they're pulling the plug on ESPN Classic.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. ESPN Classic is going away.
You know what,
That's
though, to be
sad.
honest, though, it makes so much sense, but it was so good when they throw the random sport on. Like, you got to learn new sports or different things. I mean, it reminds me of ESPN, the Ocho, or whatever.
I love the
but,
Ocho.
Right? Like, all the obscure. I mean, I know that they got the cornhole championships, and a lot of people love cornhole and stuff like this, the darts and all that stuff. So the classics, it makes sense to me because we just went to the YouTube.
And I think that is the thing for ESPN. They recognize, they know the score.
Well, it's the why, right? So, and it makes sense because ESPN goes, we're going to just shut this down. Everybody knows that they can look and where they can go, and we're going to put it in TSPN Plus. And then we're going to nurture the hockey and nurture the UFC and nurture the fighting world and stuff like this. You see what they're doing. I give ESPN Plus because they're expanding. And a lot of times, Neal, you don't see the old guard or the first to the party get with the times when the times need getting to.
Right.
So they're figuring out with the Hulus and the Yahoos, all the ways that people have the option. So now it's customer service, and I think this is a smart play on their part. Because the only one that really is disappointed is Maz.
Oh, Maz is crying. Has anybody checked on Maz?
Well,
has he been answering calls or texts today?
Don't think so, no.
Because I know last night was the bowling night.
Ooh.
Yeah,
we need what we need on Fridays. We need a Maz bowling update.
Well,
like what the scores
I have
were.
a minor update just in terms of what he does. I know he has a 15-pound ball he uses, and he brings 3 of them.
Of course, Maz brings 3 different bowling. I will say this:
Hey,
by no means am I bowling elite, but I do when I bowl because I'm like a one-handed bowler. I use my fingers, but not my thumb. And I have like a 16-pound ball that I use. Again, I haven't bowled in about 5 years, but I also do use a kid's ball, like a 6-pound ball, to shoot the 10 pin.
Yeah.
Because my ball hooks so much that I have to have the speed to overcome the hook. So that's the only way I can make the 10 pin is by using. It's always like the neon yellow one or neon pink one that glows for galactic. They still do galactic bowling these days.
Oh yeah.
So are you like a big galactic bowling guy?
Oh, yeah. During high school, we would always go up to Galaxy Lanes up in Flint and do some galactic bowling. I was always the lightest ball possible.
And
no
just fire
hands,
that.
no fingers in, and
you're just
put it
looking
like
for
that.
the RPM. You're just seeing how many miles per hour you can fire it
Yeah,
down.
I didn't care if I gutter balled every time. I just wanted pure speed. That's all I was going for.
And everyone's got some thoughts here on the ESPN Classic. Jake says, I grew up on ESPN Classic, watching a ton of events from before my time. And yeah, again, we all know what YouTube is right now. It's just another sign of the times. Francis makes a great point because this day is coming, by the way. ESPN Plus and all these other streaming services will return TV to what it was before with the same cost. And that's going to be the case. I feel that way about the automobile, too. I recently bought a new car, and I was going back and forth. I almost bought a Tesla. And
big play, Neal.
Would I be out of the party if you two Teslas and a DMac?
No, but I thought about that too. Electricity, they're just going to raise the price of electricity to make it similar to gas.
Yeah.
Like, we know that day's coming, right?
I do.
Yeah. And the streaming services, Francis makes a great point. The streaming services are going to go the same way. Because have anyone noticed, like, your TV bill, you're starting to get nickeled and dimed. You know, you're paying $5 for this, you're paying $7 for that, you're paying $13 for this, and
Netflix
$19 for that.
keeps raising their prices every month. It seems like
it's just, and you have to have the internet, obviously, too. It's getting close to the same territory.
Well, that's where the big thing is, right? It's great to have all these streaming services, but now the gas or the electricity is the internet. Right, so where are all these? And you look at all these bundle packages, and I know now that certain phone services have a wireless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at cars, you can drive around with internet in your car. You know, not only Sirius radios, but you know, you can operate a business from your car. So the game's changed, and it's about whoever figures out the formula, right? They're all trying to figure out what the formula is to get the consumer. So,
oh wow, we have an update from Tom Masway on the YouTube chat thread. Sources have reported he had a 625 series last.
Wow,
that's 208 a pop, man.
That's solid. Hey, you know what? Matt, he must be coming into his own. He must.
What is that? No tap, Maz?
Oh, he's gonna be so mad at you right now.
I know.
I know it's not no tap, Maz. You only play those on Sundays with the bumper bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 drinks to the Tesla battery. Die again. Hey, my friends that I talk to that have them, they say that's not a problem anymore. That's an old stereotype about the batteries. The battery lasts about as long as a tank of gas now. From what I've said, again, I didn't end up pulling the trigger.
So you didn't buy the was it not because what was your final reason?
The ancillary cost, like the put the charging station in the garage, you know, is anywhere between $800 and $1,300.
That seems like the theme now.
What are
the ancillary costs?
Yeah, ancillary costs. It's like the streaming television. Yep. Fish, you'll appreciate this. Being a soccer guy with the World Cup qualifiers, so now you have to have 2 services, right? You have to get the Paramount because you need the road matches for USA.
CONCACAF,
Yep, for CONCACAF road matches, so I have to have that. I mean, it's $5 a month or whatever. It's worth it to me because I just go back to the point, if I'm watching 3 matches a month, it's less than $2 a match, like
ESPN Plus is all the Europe.
Yeah, so you know.
See, I'm so frustrated with technology, right? You know what I mean? Like, not say I drive an electric car, but I wouldn't be in charge of charging it and doing all that maintenance and all that stuff. Like, that's why.
Well, that's the other rub, though, is there isn't, you know, you're not driving in for oil changes, you know, and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, out of my league.
So it is. It's one of those things. Chef Chris Smith says Neal is balling. No, I mean, I didn't buy it, but I like this one. Joey 2 times. Market 0, dude. You know Maz steps over the line and still counts it, right? You know he does.
Leave Maz alone. For Maz to come on and throw up his series, right? Because I asked Maz, how'd you bowl? And he hasn't been confident because Maz, you know,
625 is fire.
No, so he's got it going. So you know he's not going to throw it out there, Maz. I'll stick up for you in this case. It was a legit at least 590. Okay, all right, legit fine. I'm just kidding. No, congratulations. Means that he's throwing good because Maz's a bowler, man.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
More on the YouTube chat thread. We live in Oregon now. Have to have NBA League Pass to watch my Pistons. Neal's right, getting nickel and dimed, and that's the way it's going to go. But we said we wanted this, though, at the same time, right? We said we wanted to pick and choose, and we didn't like packages that we don't watch 90% of the channels. We wanted to pick and choose what we watched. They're going to get it from you, man. Like, they just are.
They're going to find a way, right?
They're going to find a way.
Re-maneuver in how the consumer is taking it, you know, which angle they're going. And a lot of people, I assume, are like me, where I want to watch a game. I want to watch a game, and I don't worry about, you know, this subscription, this $10 here or whatever like this. It's just I always figure a couple $100 a month for entertainment.
For entertainment, yeah.
So
it's part of the big.
When it goes over that, right? Because and sure, if I cut it, I could probably cut my costs, you know, by a quarter at least, right, Neal?
Right.
But it's not. Not worth it to me.
Yeah, Robert says Paramount Plus gone all in with soccer, though they have the Serie A and everything with it. It's not bad. I mean, again, at $5 a month, I'm not complaining. It's just when you throw it on my.
I know you love the Italian league, Neal.
You know, I used to. I like to be entertained. You know, you guys know this about me, right? Like I watch the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers are important viewing for me. They are, because they're fun, especially when they're on the power play. I like points. I like the old Denver Nuggets when they shot it within 7 seconds of the shot clock. Serie A is like the anti that. And that's the Italian national team way. They just defend all the time, and it's not my style.
I also know you love German soccer, and where can you bet on your favorite league, the German soccer?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can go to MyBookie. You can. And look, you're always looking for a way to get an edge, right? But at MyBookie, they'll double your first deposit, so you start with an edge. Use a promo code Woodward. Sign up now. Claim your first deposit bonus with MyBookie and use the extra funds to kickstart your winning season. This weekend, lay the points with Arizona as they continue streaking in San Francisco with 2 top 10 offenses and the Titans and Rams going toe-to-toe on Sunday night. You can safely smash the over at MyBookie. Don't just take my word for it. Head to MyBookie and sign up now using the promo code Woodward to get your money doubled and start winning today. Remember, good friends don't let friends win alone, so have your buddies sign up and use the referral link so you're eligible to receive up to an additional 250% bonus on their first deposit. Plus, it's unlimited to redeem, so all your friends can join the party at MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Get your life in order. Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell joining us now in the house, although not technically in the house, over at the west side of the state. He's handling business. Side. You handling business, Joique?
So I had to come down here yesterday. I was a keynote speaker at a event at the college, and then my son has he has his second round of playoffs today. So that makes sense to drive back and forth.
Absolutely not.
It's good. Yeah. So how you guys doing?
We're living, Joique. Yeah. Thanks for having me on my own show. Yeah, hey, no problem, Joique. Your name's on the show, bro. So, we'll get you on anytime we get a chance to. But, Joique, obviously the Lions have the bye this week. But as we discussed yesterday, and as you figure might be the case, and I'll give you an example right now on our YouTube chat thread. Mr. 86 says Odell Beckham, Deshaun Jackson, both available. Lions should be trying. You know my take on it, Joique. See, I converted you, right?
No, I was always there. So, for instance, I actually don't be Jay. If we get him after they release him, if we don't take over his contract, I don't have an issue with that.
I know, but again, Joique, it goes back for me. It's just he doesn't fit anywhere for me. He's not a long-term guy. He's not somebody. I mean, the dude's got 17 catches this year. It's not like he's been a dynamo. How's he going to be in the locker room? And Joique, tell me if I'm wrong here, because again, I'm the media guy. You're the guy that was in the locker room. You tell me if I'm wrong. I don't want that in the Lions locker room right now, where the most important players in this room right now, I think, for this team are Penei Sewell, are Aleem McNeil, Onwuzurike, going down the line of all those draft picks that were part of last year's draft class.
Put on that
TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, all these young guys. Joique, I'm not into it. I don't want anything that he brings. And again, I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that because I don't know.
You gotta think about it. It's funny how quick we forget. He's an electrifying player. He can still make plays. He's in a position right now where he doesn't want to be in. Right? He's in an environment he does not want to be in. He's not going to the media. He's not making a scene. I think he's handling it well. Like, I don't think you can handle it any better than how he's handling it. He's not happy there. They made it known. He's made it known to the team. Like, I'm not. It's not working. But he still has that playmaking ability. He can still get out on the field. He can still be a deep threat. He's a veteran in the game, and he still has some years in this. He has barely any wear and tear on his body this year. And he's only 30.
Here's the question, Joique. So it's the balance is we know the talent. We all don't, we'll agree on he's one of the most talented guys that we've seen, obviously, being able to catch the ball and still got game in him, I guess. But the balance is does it hurt the locker room more? My question to you is there a guy out there that could be signed by the Lions or that could have that impact in the locker room? Because I think to what Neal's point is, these young guys are the most valuable guys, but it's also developing them as men. So do you, I don't know, OBJ, and I'm not going to go by, because I believe, don't believe the hype, what you're hearing or whatever, if you know him or know different.
Well, I'm going to tell you personally. Personally, I've trained with OBJ in the offseason. We trained together. A guy's a great guy to have in a locker room. He's never had anything negative. I've never heard anything negative come out of his mouth. Nothing negative. He comes to work. I remember training with him. He came to work every day. He never missed a day. And so we still, when I was still playing, we had the same trainer until we finished playing. And so I've never heard anything negative. He always came to work. He deals with adversity. The guys, came back from a broken leg and he never complained. Just comes to work and still is in a position to where he can make plays. He just has to go to an environment where mentally he's healthy, and mentally he can focus just on playing football. He still has all the tangibles he had years ago. 2000, when he got drafted back into, he still has those tangibles. He just has to go on a team where he can go out there and he can utilize it.
No, I heard what I needed to hear. You said that he would be an asset in the locker room.
No, right? which is fair.
Also a guy, this is a guy who can come in and he can be a part of he can still be a part of this team in 34 games, which we're down to 26 now.
Where's
he can be a part of. I think it's about 26 now. Is it 26? You put it up there? Is it 26?
There it is.
Over
there.
8 of 34.
Right where it belongs. Right in front of the captain. The captain can't see where he's going.
I like this better.
And so he can still be in this 2 years from now. I think he has at least 4 or 5 more years of being a playmaker and being effective on the field. So he can be, but the thing is, it's not about if he can do it. It's about if he wants to come here and do it.
Right.
And there are those factors, Joique, where we're talking about hypotheticals, obviously, where is it a fit? Does he want to be here? All that kind of stuff, which is fine. That's another matter in and of itself. But again, I'm coming from, and look, you know him, you've worked out with him. You guys are familiar with each other and everything like that. And I respect that, Joique. I respect that, and that's cool. For me, it's the business end of it, the money, the contract, the duration, all those types of things. And I'm not saying, and again, we go back to it. We had this discussion, Lions pregame show, when we were downtown at the Tin Roof. We've had this discussion on this show when we've done Lions pregame shows in the past. For me, the way this season's going, while certainly not optimal, certainly there may be more talented options out there, it's fine the way it is. For real, it is.
Listen. Now listen, Richard. You're talking about the contract, and we're talking about something. I'm gonna ask you a question. Is this bottle, is it half full or half empty?
It's refillable, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Some more water capital, though, could fill that bottle back up. So you should do what's necessary to get more water capital.
Listen what I'm telling you. This is a guy that once they release him and he doesn't have a contract anymore, we can offer him what we want to offer him. We can offer him what we want to offer him.
Right,
now,
and I understand.
It's up to him. It's up to him whether he want to decide to come and be part of a team that can win his first Super Bowl in history, right? And be a part of that and be legendary. Or he can go to Super Bowl wins that already have guys who are part of the city who's already brought pride in that city. He can be part of something special.
Yeah, that's a great motivation, like to see where he's motivated. If he wanted to motivate and prove and had that engine to prove something's wrong, but then the issue is then you look and see that you got to be committed all in because you ain't going anywhere for a couple of years. So is he going to be one that wants to build? And how long will he be able to play? How many years does he have left? Will he be here when they eventually get successful?
He is 29 still. I mean, there's still, there's some juice. There's some juice in the bottle.
Yeah, there's rubber on the tire.
You know what I'm saying? He got a lot.
Yeah, no, I like what you're thinking. As long, and I think to Neal's point, as long as it doesn't cost you going forward.
This is the thing that's going to be the issue. This is going to be the issue that we have with him not coming here. This is going to be the only issue. Do we have a quarterback that can get him the ball?
That's what I said. Absolutely not.
Do we have a quarterback that can consistently get him the ball? Do we have the offensive scheme to get Odell Beckham open? Right? That's going to be because he wants to be that guy. Right? He wants to be that guy. And right now, we don't have that guy. We don't have it.
Do we have our guy?
He'll be an asset here.
And that in and of itself.
He'll be an asset here if we can. But the only thing is, the only way for him to be an asset is if we can have a quarterback that can get him the ball consistently, and he's in a healthy environment.
And before you even get into that, Joique, he has to believe that about the situation here, and I certainly understand that. Here's the biggest question I have, and you could speak on this, Joique. And DMac and I were talking about this before the show because we were just talking about the locker room and teammates, and we're going to talk about Scottie Pippen coming up in a little bit. I think that this will be very telling about Odell Beckham and the respect for him in the locker room and all those types of things, because if you're a team like the Rams or the Packers or the Chiefs, somebody who's in the mix for Super Bowl contention, the Ravens certainly as well, if you're in the mix, then you'll go get this guy at a discount to market. And for the Rams right now, got about $3.5 million in cap space for the rest of the season, just to kind of give you a barometer. Will those teams make that call? That's my question. In your gut, Joique, and you don't know. You don't know, obviously. You can't speak to it with knowledge. In your gut, do you think the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers will make the call? Do you think the Chiefs will make the call, the Rams, et cetera, et cetera? Would they bring this guy in when they're chasing a Super Bowl?
Did you put the Ravens in there?
Yes.
Okay. I can see the Ravens being a good spot for him. I'm going to say I will hold off on if I was him. I don't know if the Packers, I don't know if the Rams would be a good fit for him because, like I told you, he wants to be that guy. And right now, you have a guy that's leading the NFL in receiving yards in a Cooper Kupp with the Rams. And then you have Devontae Adams, who was the guy for Green Bay. But I think he can go to the Ravens and have an impact and make a fight and make a fighting case for him being the man there. And so it's like I said, I think it's past the money part. I don't think that's the thing here. For him, I think it's more so I just want a fresh start somewhere where I can thrive and be myself and make the plays that I know I can make.
No, that's it's a telling sign. Obviously, we'll see what his motivation is. If it's going to somewhere to win, and Baltimore makes sense if he wants to be a number one guy. I think they got some space for him there. I think Lamar's a guy that. And that system, he fits there, right? He could help them, and Lamar can throw him open. You know what I'm saying? Lamar can elude enough to make it work. So that'll be interesting. That's probably the odds-on favorite. I have to check my bookie.
Yeah, mybookie.ag, no question about it. Neal Rule, Joique Bell, DMac, Darren McCarty here. We are Big D Energy. We're going to talk some college football coming up in just a couple of minutes. Michigan back in it. But before we do that, let me tell you about the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. And guys, look, you're bumping around all your social media. You're seeing all your friends there doing it. Looks like they're having a good time. Pull up on it yourself and go up in there. Look, here's the thing that I like. They have 100 beers available, over 100 beers. They have a $2 mystery beer machine. It's a vending machine. You put $2 in and a beer comes out, but you don't know which one. That's fun in and of itself, right? I mean, forget about the Foaling for a second. That's fun. But the Foaling is great. DMac's done it. I've done it before. Joique's been through there. It certainly is a perfect time out there. There's two ways to play. They have $10 unlimited open play. You can stay the whole time they're open on that day. You can reserve private lanes as well for $120 for 2 hours for up to 10 people. And the best part about this, too, you can bring your own food or have your food delivered, however you want to do it. Make it a party in the Foaling Warehouse tomorrow, the final Detroit City FC home match of the season. The Northern Guard, thousands of people walk over to the stadium from the Foaling Warehouse. That's a lot of fun to be a part of, too. It's all going on. You see all your friends doing it. Slide through there. The Foaling Warehouse. Go get your foal on. Check it out at foalingwarehouse.com.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Back with it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell in the house. He's over on the west side, holding it down, taking care of business, as I like to say. Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer Spencer on the 1s and 2s. But, Joique, I know the Thursday night football game last night, the Colts beat the Jets. And for me, Joique, you know, because I said this, I was going to make a concerted effort to watch my guy. He's my guy now, Mike White, the quarterback for the Jets. He got hurt, and I dipped, Joique, and it was a good thing I did because the Jets caught them hands like they usually do.
Ooh. They did catch some hands, but I'm gonna tell you right now, for Josh Johnson to come in the game the way that he did, I wasn't disappointed. I was impressed. I was impressed with him. He basically did the same. He played better. If you're looking at the numbers, aside for that last interception off the pick, he was playing just as well as Carson Wentz. Threw for over 300 yards, threw for 3 touchdowns, and was taking the team down to take the lead down by could possibly been 7 to give him another fighting chance to come back down and tie it up. Until that tip ball on that defensive line, he was rolling. He was really rolling.
Yeah, again, you know where I'll go with that. It's easier to play quarterback when you're up 42-19. There is no doubt about that, especially in the second half. And we've known the book on Josh Johnson. I was disappointed because as far as Mike White goes, he, in that first quarter, Joique, it looked like that first game wasn't a fluke. And it's not a fluke. When you roll in an NFL game, Joique, speak to this, man. When you roll in an NFL game and throw for 400 yards, you can play, right? I know people have lucky games and stuff like that. But did he give that look to you, especially in the first quarter? He had almost 100 yards in the first quarter alone.
No. So it's nothing. So the thing is, of course, we're all impressed with Mike White. We have to see more from him.
Right, no doubt.
Before we can, we have to see more. But as of right now, I consider the circumstances, and he's looking. He might be able to play next week. Is what the team is saying. They think he'll be able to play next week with the forearm injury, and we really want to see what he's doing. I want to see this guy play at this point. I want to see him play.
I do too.
And he's exciting. He's exciting to see. And the way Josh Johnson came in the game, and he was able to come in and make a lot of plays, and I don't care how many teams, because this guy has played on over, 10 NFL teams in his career, close to 13, I believe. And so he's seen his fair share of team. So it's good to be able to see him go out there and have some success.
Well, I think you made a great point, is that Mike White gave you the fact that, hey, I want to see more. And, the eyeball test, because nobody put the eyes on him last week. Right, obviously the Jets playing so in the spotlight of a Thursday night game in the first quarter, it was like something, because you got to remember, how many times when other teams don't have a lot of tape on a guy, you see the Matt Flynn's come out and score 5 touchdowns against Detroit, or you see a guy have a great, but when they have tape on a guy and they've had a time to prepare, and he still goes out and he's efficient like that, that tells me that, hey, he's got something here. So my question to you is, what do you think of Jonathan Taylor's runs? Because when he was popped off that touchdown,
Jonathan Taylor had a great game.
When he popped off that touchdown, running through the hole, man, when I saw it, I was like, look at him get skinny. Look at him get skinny, like Joique said. He's getting skinny. I could see it, man, just from balling with Bell. So I appreciate that, bro. I noticed that. I was excited.
This guy's special, man. No, he had a special game last night. He really put the team on his back. He took a lot of pressure off of Carson Wentz, and I mean, you have 19 carries, you run it for 172. That's for him. And
is that good?
Also have, you know, yeah, that's. I mean, you averaging 9 yards a carry. That's almost a first down every time you touch the ball. And then you also, if you look behind him, you also have Nyheim Hines, who also had a good game. He was averaging 12 yards a carry. You know, 6 carries for 72 yards. I mean, he had a great game. And then they also contributed into the passing game as well. You know, with Nyheim having 4 catches and I think for 40-something yards, and you had Jonathan Taylor with 2 catches for 28 yards. So I mean, they're effective and they're contributing on the passing side as well. And then on the defensive side, you have Taylor Starworth coming in and getting 2 sacks. And I mean, that's more sacks than he, combined he had this whole season. So defensively they played well as well. And so all around it was a good game. I mean, they played a great game with punching the ball out, getting turnovers, and making plays when they had to.
I am seeing, too, on our YouTube chat thread, and I saw this on social media last night where people want to proclaim that the Colts are back. And they were a lot of people's dark horse pick, dark horse Super Bowl pick. I mean, certainly not the obvious choice, but people were looking for them to take a step forward. It's just whenever somebody seems to play the Jets, they seem to get right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you start getting into the analytical side of it, the point differential. They're only a couple points better than the Lions. Offensively, they scored 10 more points than the Lions. I mean, they're a bad football team. They're bad. They got some cap space coming up, so maybe they can do something, but they are a bad football team.
When you look at
I'll tell you right now, I was impressed with Elijah Moore. I was impressed. I like the kid, coming from Mississippi, coming from Mississippi State, and I mean if we could have got a kid like that here, that would have helped take us, catapult us to the next level. But he's coming in, he's making a lot of plays for that Jet team. Yeah,
but they seem to have, whatever you think about Zach Wilson, but this Mike White, I mean, they got some quarterbacks there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost where is their problems and where do they have to get better? You're right. They're not a good football team. But which situation, I guess, would you rather be in? And somebody said it last night, and I just chuckled because the way it is you're seeing first-year coach Robert Saleh, and God bless him, from Dearborn. I know his cousin Joey played golf with him and stuff like this, but being a defensive coach, that wasn't sort of the signature game of the Jets, right?
Yeah, and Joique, let me tell you this too, because this is my angle, because I also am a big Elijah Moore guy, but what I look at, I see the next 3 years at $1.4 million per year for Elijah Moore.
So
that's what I like.
What he's saying is that Elijah Moore, whatever he did last night, might as well triple it.
He's a discount to market, Joique.
There it is.
Now, I know you're a players guy and you want them to get their money.
So Neal, to your point then, to your point, looking at it, right? Looking at it where they set up, you look deeper into it to the couple guys that you like. Are they set up that way? So there's a smart play that they can get better.
They got a shot.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
They got a shot. No, it's incredible.
Yeah. So again, I know you're a player's contract guy, Joique.
Get
that money.
I'm a playing contract guy. Get the money where you can. Get the money where you can. But front office is they're looking for the best players for the best price. Everyone loves a discount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Well, Joique, I know you got some business to attend to, but we do have to touch on this before we let you go. Michigan State on the road tomorrow at Purdue. Michigan State just a 3-point favorite. It smells kind of fishy to me, Joique. How do you see that one shaking out?
They need this win. And like you said, this is fashion points. This is going to be a fashion game.
They need fashion points, style points. Yep.
Yeah, they need those style points, and they have to go down. But you know what? When you have a guy like Kenneth Walker in your backfield, leading your team, being in charge, that's gonna heighten your chances of coming out that game with. And I don't see it being a 3-point. I think I see them winning by double digits. Whether it's 12, 14. I see them winning by double digits. I don't think it'll be that close. And I know Vegas is, they're right most of the time, but I think this one, they might have this one wrong. Even on the road.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm thinking double digits. I'm thinking, Mel Tucker's not going to let the players, their attitude, and it goes back when I tell you, when you come in and you learn about the rivalry, what it means, and you've put yourself in this position when people don't believe in you, didn't think you'd have this success, so they got stuff to prove. I'm not worried about them having a letdown, So I think you're right, Joique.
All right, so Joique, and lastly, too, before we do let you go here, Michigan hosting Indiana. They're about a 3-touchdown favorite. The night game on Fox, does Michigan put the pieces back together? I think this is a good opponent for them to have coming in right now to kind of get right.
Yeah, it is. This is going to be what we call a G-Bot game. And for people who don't know G-Bot, G-B-O-T, get back on track game. And so we need this win. And we're going to have to win this one with some style points as well.
I think they will, but here's the thing. You just mentioned it, Neal. Michigan coming off a loss playing Indiana is a great matchup for Michigan, right? Purdue on the same aspect playing Michigan State, so they have to stay on the ball. They can't have a letdown as opposed to if Michigan was playing Purdue, right, coming back to a tougher game, and Michigan State was playing Indiana. So I think both these teams win this weekend, and they do what they need to do, and Michigan gets back on track. Yeah, the G-Bot.
Right. Well,
before I go,
but
before I go, I'll say this. What we figured out last week is what we wasn't for sure was can Cade McNamara, can he pass the ball? And he proved that last week that he can pass the ball. Now the thing is, are they going to test that method again this upcoming week? We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, Joique, man, the keynote speaker, Mr. Big Time, man.
Good luck to your son's game. Good luck to your son. Give us some good report next week, bud.
I will for sure. I'll tap in with you guys next week.
Tap in. All right, Joique. Hey, he's got to cut out.
Give us a gang, bro. Give us a gang for the weekend.
Gang.
Yeah.
See you later.
Joique's got to cut out for the weekend.
Deuces. Yeah, Joique's cutting out because you know why? He carries a knife on him, his person. He's so valuable. But CoastPortland.com to get your old machetes. WSN 20 for 20% off. They got the lights, the lamps, everything. It's time. I know Neal's got to tackle his deck. I got to tackle my garage. I might need this to get through it. If you do too, go to CoastPortland.com, WSN 20. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. We'll be right back. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell, who you just saw, away as a keynote speaker. Man,
I know.
Living the life.
That we can all strive. We can all strive to get to the Joique Bell level, but good luck to his son's football team. But, back and forth. That guy's busy, and he's been going since 5 a.m.
100%.
In his Tesla. Now it's plugged in somewhere else.
He drove it all the way across the state. See, he's fine.
I guess. I don't know, man.
My buddy brought one. My buddy has one. We went on a golfing trip this summer up in Oscoda. And I would say that was one of the negatives I thought about because there's like a local bar in Oscoda that everybody kind of goes to when you go on the golf trip. And that was the only place that had a plug-in station. So he would drive to the bar and then have to plug in, and leave his car there to charge. It was the only plug-in station on Oscoda.
Was at the bar?
Yeah.
Go figure. Now, isn't that a dichotomy.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Right? You'd think they keep it at
it's good for me, though. I didn't have to drive.
Station. No, exactly. Yeah, well, absolutely. You weren't driving anyways.
This is Big D Energy, Neal Rule, and DMac, Darren McCarty here with you. I saw Terry Foster running around, man. Big what up, though, to T-Foss in here. But, we're getting ready for the weekend. There is no doubt about that. We do have to talk about it, though. The Red Wings last night in Boston. And I'm not
Sorry.
Again, because I feel as though I have to say it this way, because if I say I'm growing concerned, it makes it sound like I'm pushing the siren and pushing the red light and it's spinning and all that stuff. I didn't expect them, and I catch myself doing it. To be fair, I catch myself doing it. I didn't expect them to be a playoff team. I think you and I said when push came to shove, they weren't quite there yet as far as a playoff team goes. So I have to remember in my brain that if they're not a playoff team, then you're going to see these stretches during a season. You just are. And you throw in the mix, the Dylan Larkin personal situation, whatever it is that he's going through right now, the Bertuzzi situation where he can't play in games in Canada, that's a bad cocktail at times. It was a real bad cocktail in Montreal. It was not a good cocktail last night in Boston.
It was a bad cocktail last night.
Well, yeah.
I mean, just calling it like you see it, it's because this team does not have the luxury of not having their best players available to them, right? Whether it's Bertuzzi out because of Canada, whether it's personal reasons, whether it's injuries, whatever that. They're still young, and they show their youth and inexperience in the way that they play. The biggest thing, maturity is your special teams. Especially number one is PK. That's the one thing. And I'm a defensive-minded player, but you had to solidify the PK. The power play with your talent and you're working your systems and getting opportunities. You can have unbelievable power plays moving the puck and doing everything like that and not score because the goalie makes saves, you're hitting posts, whatever, but you're getting the chances, and then one can go in because it hits somebody 3 times and whatever, and on the score sheet you're 1 for 2, but really you should be 2 for 2 or 4 for 4. So, but keeping penalties out. And you watched last night, the PK stinks, right? The stinks. Way to get Patrice Bergeron. I mean, you want to say get right, get back on track game, the G-Bot game. That's what Boston was saying last night, right? You saw it early. You needed your rat and Bertuzzi to out-rat Marchand. You're getting into it, but they didn't. And it's the effective and just the little things of if you watch the hat-trick goal of Bergeron where it popped out on the power play, is that the pass from behind the net from Marchand, right? I don't care where you expect it to go, but you can't let the easy pass through the middle go just because you think it's going to the point. It's little mentality things, and it's just because it's youth, inexperienced, but they don't have the jam. Last night they came out better. They were flat as hell in Montreal, but they came out better last night. But I mean, good effort. Where's that get you? So that's why I
professional sports.
I think the water level, right? I know we're later. What's the date today? The 5th. I said the 1st. So the 5th, the end of the week. I think you see more of the water level now. Hopefully everything's all right with Dylan Larkin, because the longer it goes on and
the more concerned you get.
Yes.
Not just Dylan Larkin, the player.
People ask me, what's going on? And I don't tell it. I put one call out to make sure that it wasn't, and I didn't hear back to the fact that, so it's not real bad. Does that make sense, Neal?
No, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
So and you know what? You got to let it play out right now as it is. So I don't pry into that stuff. It'll come out, and we all should just respect that that's what it is, and it's keeping quiet. So, but they need the energy. They need a spark. They need the fire throughout scoring in the lineup, and they're just not getting that. Right. There's something missing. There's a piston missing now. I brought it up, Neal. Obviously, it's imperative with Bertuzzi. I mean, that's just imperative, the energy level or whatever, the way the team plays and starts out a game, stuff like this with him in the lineup. He makes them a different team, right? But Larkin can't just be their energy guy. And their third line, fourth line are doing stuff like this, but they're not doing enough.
This is a time, DMac, and again, this isn't being overly critical. This is just an observation that I made. And to be fair, I qualified this at the beginning. I watched pretty much the entire Pistons game last night, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. DMac, we had it covered, though. We did our due diligence for you guys. DMac watched the entire Wings game. I watched the entire Pistons game. Here's my thing, though, with it, DMac, and this is where, again, going back to the Zadina discussion, and no, I'm not pinning it on Zadina or anything like that. This is the time where you need that angle of it, DMac. This is the time where Zadina's got to be a guy that contributes. I'm sorry, he just does, man. Like, this is the NHL.
No, it's more
professional sports. At some point, man, especially when you're missing a Larkin or you're missing a Bertuzzi, then you got to be that dude.
Well,
you were the number 6 overall pick.
Right, into the same aspect, and this isn't comparing them as players, but Steve Yzerman goes down my first year in 93, 94, and Sergei Fedorov
wins the league MVP.
Well, and you're not expecting, you're not saying Zadina go win the league MVP, but you're saying Zadina fill in. How many other teams stay in races or different guys? The New York Islanders are a great example. You know, they lose their captain, Anders Lee, and are still able to, you know, their fourth line's effective in the Matt Martins and the Cal Clutterbucks, but they get, you know, the Cizicases, and they get secondary scoring. That's what makes teams great. You look at Edmonton, right? Why are they successful this year? Because they're getting more secondary scoring. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Pugliarvi, yeah, you know, like secondary, and Yamamoto on the first line, even though he's not putting up points, but he's effective when you watch him. But you see they're getting other guys to contribute, right? That's the maturation. So, in any of the sports, it sort of matters. I guess it's what your expectations are, and you know what. We're all fans, so when they start out playing the first game and the first weeks, why don't you get hooked? But it's just like reality sets in, and that's why it's #WiserPlan, and it's a 3, 4, 5 years, and not saying, see if they get these guys to step up, right? Right, they're getting these young guys, and they're going to step up. You look at, let's talk about, you know, Lucas Raymond, who I broke down a Pucking Around that you can find on YouTube and stuff like this. You want to watch, but. He proved it last night. That spot. You see that spot, that honey spot, that red zone? Right. That was his strike zone. Boom, in off the stick. He's going to be effective like that, right? You need that consistency from Zadina on the other side. You don't get that. And why is that? It could be luck. It could be confidence, right? The one thing is, if you listen to Lucas Raymond, even at 19 years old, what he speaks is with 100% confidence. In himself, in his team, whatever he's projecting or talking about, there's confidence. Sometimes with Zadina, you could see how his self-confidence, where it's more up and down. So that's why we compare him, you know, more like a Sergei, but it's also knowing, you know, knowing people, knowing your players, knowing your guys, and also wanting that. We just talked about Odell Beckham. Right? Would he want the challenge of bringing Detroit out of the ashes? Or does he want the challenge of going to Baltimore? What does he want, right? That's the whole thing, is where we're at here right now. What does Zadina want? What does the Fabries want? What are the guys that can make their marks and step up? The Rasmussens, these guys. Here's your opportunity. You know, Hronik's in and out of the lineup. You know, there's opportunities everywhere for guys to step up and establish themselves. Because if you know what? If we're talking about it, guess who's eyeballing it from way up top?
19.
#WiserPlan.
Yeah. The old 19. Detroit Dabber says Zadina was actually a bright spot last night. He was playing hard throughout the game. But see, and that's fine, but I'm not into that.
We appreciate that, but that's sort of like saying we need him, like you would expect when, you know, when I stepped on the ice, you were getting everything no matter what it was. You're getting everything I had. That has to be second nature, that attitude, that effort. Now we need execution. That's where we're at.
That's where we're at with him.
We're at in the time frame. Right?
Lucas Raymond's 19, Zadina's 21. There's a difference there. You know what I'm saying? And Raymond
how many years, how much time, how much ice time, how much this, who's had that. It's time. We need you, bro. Yeah. Step it up.
And again, I'm not saying write them off. I'm not saying that. No, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that.
We're saying is find it now, because we need it's they one need of the, it. Sometimes, Neal, and this is the sort of Fedorov that I would say to people to understand Sergei, is that you got to understand that he's just a fun-loving guy. He's almost like you got to treat him like an 18-year-old kid. But the one thing with Sergei is he was that it wasn't pouting or whatever. It was looking around the room, and his mentality, you had to understand, is that, look at, there's Steve Yzerman, Igor Larionov, these guys don't need me. Where, in fact, it would be us, me, Dre, then going, Serge, we need you tonight, man. Like, come on, oh, you guys need me? Oh, okay. Oh, really? Like, more of that mentality. Yeah. Right? So you just have to find out what it is to get him going. Because I tell you, he's working hard. He's working hard. He's putting in the time and stuff like this. It's just time, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying trade him.
Slump bust you, kid.
Yeah. I'm not saying trade him. I'm not saying give up on the guy by any means. But I am saying we do need something here, especially now at this time, because this looks like last year's Red Wings. It does, man.
Well, that's what I said last night.
They can't score.
The last
3-4 games have looked that way.
Right, exactly. It's last year's Wings. So now it's time to change that.
Mike G says still waiting on Zadina and Rass, and yeah.
Yeah, we all are. And here's a perfect opportunity, right? It's a perfect opportunity for guys to step forward, because I know that you will earn ice time. If you go out there and you play and you produce, you will get ice time. That's where the luxury of being in this situation, right? Every game, every day that goes by gets closer to being crunch time, so to speak, right?
No, it does. And that's where it is. And Tammy says, Zadina may need a few more years, Neal. He looked very small out there compared to all the other players. Zadina may need some time to adjust his playing style. But, we're already a couple years. You know what I'm saying? See, that's my thing. Like, time moves slow, except it moves fast. We're a couple years in now.
Isn't that life?
100%.
I mean, isn't that life? Like, I've been dreading cleaning this garage for 3 months, and it's today, the day's here. Anyways, and Mike, hey, give me the solo shot, because Mike G, bro, you nailed it, right? The kick the dog, pet the dog, right? Where it was always Stevie used to kick me, and I was waiting for a pet, and I never got it, right? Whereas with Mike nailed it, where Sergey you had to pet Sergey, right? Whereas Shanny, you had to kick. You give Shanny a kick and he go Irish, and then that's all great. Everybody wins. So that's that mentality of the psychology when I say Scottie Bowman's not just the greatest coach, he's the greatest psychologist.
Yeah, but when we come back, DMac and I do want to talk about that, because today's going to be his day of reckoning. He's got to go clean the garage for the winter, and he hates it. Guys, he hoped this show lasts for 6 hours today. He wants no part of it. No part of it. For me...
Killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, and for me, the bad part is we got to deal with the deck and the patio. Get that all squared away. Get the kids' toys out from under there. You know what I'm saying? Like, get all the patio furniture put away and all that stuff. And what makes that bad for me is that's going to be Sunday for me, which sucks because it's going to be like 61, and I was hoping to be able... And no Lions game. I was hoping to slide out over on the golf course, but that ain't going to happen now. So... I don't want Sunday. I don't want Sunday. I have, we have the show today. I have Oakland basketball for ESPN Plus tonight, Detroit City for television tomorrow. So I have excuses to not do it. But Sunday, there's no excuse. And then Monday, leave for the first road trip of the year. We play at West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Yeah, so I don't have a choice. It's got to be Sunday.
We'll be Neal-less.
I'll be in on Monday. We don't fly out till later on in the day. I'll be in on Monday.
The keys to the captain's chair is going to be
But the moral of the story is we don't want to do that stuff. But I know on Sunday night after I get done with that, I'm going to have to clean the grill. The grill's due for a cleaning.
Are you sure
too.
You're not going to start before you start all this?
Oh my God! Yeah, maybe before I start, I'll go over there and pull out the Gypsy vodka. They sponsored our Michigan State broadcast at the Hopcat at East Lansing. Gypsy vodka, owned by Michigan State alumni twin brothers Adam and Mike. They're out of Petoskey, Michigan. It's a local product. But I'll tell you what, guys. On Sunday night, if I get all that stuff done, we're gonna have to go over to the cabinet, put some ice cubes in a glass, and just pour a hit, and then pour one more hit, and then some club soda, some limes in there. I'll be ready to roll. I'll be ready to unwind and just get right after a day of cleaning the deck. But whatever it is, Saturday night, you got the people over, bust out that Gypsy vodka. Vodka's a perfect drink, man. You can use it with everything. And why not do it with a Michigan company? Why not do it with Gypsy vodka? And remember, when you enjoy Gypsy vodka, enjoy it responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. That guy's name is Darren McCarty. Joique Bell, a keynote speaker for a function today, so we had to be over on the west side of the state. I didn't know we swam in those waters with keynote speakers.
Well, carry some, that's his BH, Benton Harbor, maybe on the west side. That's his territory, bro. We don't know too much about that. We want to, so... But no, he's the perfect guy for it.
Yeah, but we talked about the baseball thing earlier. We went down the YouTube rabbit hole. DMac brought it to our attention. There was an interesting little Hank Aaron stat about the Atlanta Braves that was going around.
This was crazy, and we all know Maz had to rub it, second lowest World Series ratings ever. Duh. But check this one out, right? So the Hank Aaron, can you read that or?
The best right-handed hitter of all time by a mile. So in the year that Hank Aaron passed, the Braves won 44 games before the All-Star break, 44 games after the All-Star, and won the World Series on the 44th week of the year. I know you're big on that kind of stuff.
Oh, come on, man. You got to receive the message. That's right there. If you don't think that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That's crazy. That's like the numbers and stuff, like the 11, 25, whatever it means to you. But that is so cool. Because to me, and this is, enjoy my truth, is the fact that, Hank sprinkling down, right? Because I always pictured, and this is, so when I stand for the national anthem, especially during playoff games or whatever, but even every time, but even more so, and remember, and especially those clinching games. But I always pictured my grandfather and my uncle and my dad sitting on lawn chairs, having friends over watching the game from beyond. I mean, that's sort of like stuff like that of why Atlanta won. Maybe it's just a great time to let everybody know that the Marvel Universe Eternals dropped last night and is out there. So because that's sort of Eternal stuff, isn't it? Sawyer, let's go to our resident young guy, millennial, our resident millennial in the crowd, right? But that's what it's like. It's as if you're like me and you look for signs of stuff like that, that's a huge sign. I wish I would have known it before the season started or the series started. We could have made some money on it.
Could have got right. Absolutely. You a big Marvel guy, Sawyer?
I am a big Marvel guy. I enjoy those movies.
Do you?
It's a good time. I don't know if I'll see the new one, though. I mean, I'll probably end up seeing it because I like them, but there's just so many movies now.
But so much. But I love it because just how it ties in. And you can go as deep as you want or not as deep as you want. And I like the fact, right, I don't know if it's Netflix or whatever, but wherever it's on,
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. You could start from one. You don't have to search and go
order,
right. You don't have to go. Okay, I'm IMDb. Which one, do I start with first? You can find out, and they're all good movies onto themselves, right? So you can go as deep or as not, because I didn't know about the Eternals thing or whatever till they started making the movie, and Angela Jolie was in it, and it's cool. So.
Yeah.
It's not my thing, not my scene.
I mean, it's really cool too because like DMac said, you can choose how deep to get in because there's years and years of comics characters you didn't even know existed,
I'll give you a little insight.
Everything like that.
Little insight too. My affiliation with Best Bucket Comics, and who at Christmas were coming out with my book, My Last Fight: True Story About Hockey Rockstar. I wrote in 2012. We turned into a 150-page graphic novel. They're finishing up the artwork, right? And I could expand the stories and do different things like that. But we also have Donnybrook, which is the minor league hockey where I have the Burnaby Blazers, the Pot Smoking Lumberjacks from British Columbia. That's my team. And so in that world, right? So being at Comic-Cons and different things, man, and you see how deep that you can get with different things and things you don't even know about. So I love the creativity. That's why, from one extreme of comic books to the other extreme of deathmatch wrestling, it's the art. So I think that this all too, for people that need this or want this. I know my stepson, Brendan, who's high functioning autistic, 27-year-old, like this, I go ask him and he can name this person and so it's important to him. It's important to somebody else. And
sure.
I think that, your option of whatever it is to have the option to do it. So I'm eager to hear what the Marvel heads say about this, right?
No, and I get it. And look, like I said, it's not my thing. You guys got to remember with me too, though, I'm lazy. Like, I'm very lazy. But I know that I'm lazy, so I make it a strength, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but how can you say you're lazy? You work out every day.
No, but I know that, right? But I know I'm lazy, so if I don't do it in the morning, I'm not going to do it. So you get where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I know.
I know that I'm lazy. I know I won't do it later.
Your self-awareness.
100%.
The one thing about you, Neal, and that's the one thing is I think why we always get along is because, there's no BS. It's self-awareness to where... it's where we want to go, and I encourage everybody else. It's sort of you can be open when somebody else you see that is true to themselves. You can have very open conversations,
sure.
And you can get further along the path or the journey, whatever you're on, because of that. So the fact that you know that, so you set yourself up for success instead of failure.
Yeah, and
just
and
like
that's
you were
really
talking
what it
about
is.
Pounding the kids' almond joys that you hoard from the kids, but you waited. But you always tell me because you skipped this or did this or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I saved up sugar grams.
But there's
for
a sacrifice, right? There's also too, sacrifice.
But I have to make the sacrifice not that hard, or else I won't do it because I'm
but
lazy.
You know that's part of your self-awareness.
Is this making sense at all to anybody?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And it's great advice on this. Friday psychology with Uncle Darren and Uncle Neal. But just build that relationship with the person in the mirror.
Joseph Lowry says we're going to say Neal can't be lazy. He's wearing a Planet Fitness hat. No, and every day before I come here,
spin gobbler.
I go get the work in. They actually watch the show. At the Planet Fitness on Maple Road up here. So they gave me the hat, so I wear it. I like the people over there.
That's your Friday thing.
Yeah, I wear the vintage tee, which is my Detroit Bad Boys, tee, and the Planet Fitness hat. That's how I operate on Fridays.
It's a small brag, right? When Joique wears his new stuff and his shoes and his this. That's a small flex by Neal with his shirts. If you don't notice that.
Yeah, it's just a vintage T-shirt that I wear. So, but no, for me, like the Marvel thing. It's not my bag, but it's like everything else in life for me. Just because I'm not about it doesn't mean that other people can't be about it. There's this thing called the market, and the market takes care of it all.
That's the whole thing, and you're about. Hey, I'm about find your passion, man. I love people. I don't have to like it. But if you do, I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about passion, finding your passion. Because then people are happier if they're chasing their dreams instead of chasing something for somebody else.
Yeah, and for me, I'm happy sitting on the couch pouring a Gypsy vodka and watching Mountain West football.
Yeah,
and making sure that I get the people right on this. And this weekend it'll be Fox Sports 2. That's coming up later in the hour.
I got a quick question to you because you said Sunday you got the deck. And the outdoor.
Deck and
now, the Mountain West game that bleeds late into the evening and your consumption of the Gypsy vodka affect?
No, see, DMac, I'm a pro.
Are you a professional?
As Fish would say, I'm a pro.
Yeah, so that's okay.
If you choose to go down that road, then you choose to accept the consequences that come with it.
Well, that's how we were raised. We're trying to let everybody know. Sawyer, did you hear that? Fish, did you hear that?
What do you got, Fish?
If anyone wants to watch Neal's Get You Right special, you should do it. If anything, do it this weekend because the clocks go back this weekend. So you get an extra hour.
Good fish.
So you watch that game and you go to bed at 1. The Hawaii's the last game, so that'll end at 2:30, but the clocks go back, so it's really 1:30.
That's a great catch by you, Fish. And I will say this. I detest daylight savings. Why can't we just pick one and leave it? And pick the one where it stays the latest in the summer.
Yeah, that's the summertime that they would choose.
They say that it really affects, your clock. We talk about flying east, flying west, all these, these football teams, when they play early games, the West comes east, plays the 1 o'clock games 10 a.m. to their body and stuff like this. Well, the clock change and stuff like this, it's got to do something, but yeah, it's going to get dark soon, and it's going to stink.
Just pick one and do it.
Yeah,
right?
talk
now,
to the government.
I vote for the one that makes it lighter later in the summer, but
that's the one they're going to go with if they
Cool.
end it. They're going to choose the summertime.
But
then let's do it.
Also, too, fellas, if you had to pick one to do it, you know what it is, especially in the heating and cooling business, it's Northwestern Tech. You know you got to start a new career in an industry that's always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. .edu. Darren McCarty, Neal Rule. Big D Energy. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. He's DMac, Darren McCarty in the house. Hey, we're doing it all here on a Friday. I'm going to get you right coming up towards the end here of the second hour. Chuck says so the kids aren't walking to the school in the dark is the reasoning. But I dropped my son off at high school now and it's dark, it's dark now.
In the dark.
So,
Billy Squire.
You know what I'm saying?
I got bigger issues. I got bigger issues, Sawyer. All right. I got to go home. Yeah, you don't want to come in the garage. That's right. It might be in there. I got bigger issues, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that. I got Sasquatch issues. Getting into my plants.
You got to keep an eye on him, DMac, and get him squared away. I don't see the point of the daylight savings time. I don't. Because whatever you say about one side, it would apply to the other side, and I would rather it just be lighter later in the summer. I just would.
Yeah, because it's longer golf.
Because I want to play golf.
I know your motivation. Yeah. I agree with your motivation. I'm down with it because there's nothing like, especially being up north or whatever, but when you're on the 18th green and it's approaching 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
you
the
know
best.
What I'm saying? It's like when you can get... It's like 8 o'clock, and you're like looking at your buddy.
We can
and you're
squeeze 9
We can
in.
Squeeze 9.
Yeah,
let's go. You know that
and the
like
course
what a
is usually
great
empty,
feeling.
and you can do it.
Or what a great feeling to play around or whatever, and then just the night turns out nice or whatever, and go out with your lady or whatever. Hey, let's
or
go
sit
play
on the
9
deck
holes.
and have some gypsy vodka and soda.
Oh well, however you do it.
However you do you.
However you do you. Or you're enjoying the Darren McCarty brand.
However you do
however
you.
you do you.
Do you. Or if you want to watch a Marvel movie, if you're Sawyer and you want to watch, do you, man?
Oh, can I? Yeah, and I'm gonna. Can I? This is totally. I got to bring this up though. Have you seen that documentary about the Danbury Trashers, the Jimmy Galante, AJ Galante, the East Coast, the UHL team?
No, I have not.
It's unbelievable, and I didn't know about that. But Brent Gretzky, who is my centerman in junior, Wayne Gretzky's youngest brother, was their first signee. Anyways, it's a whole documentary.
I remember. I was a big OHL guy back in the day.
But
used to go down to the Ambassador games.
Oh, did
at
you
Cobo
really?
Arena, yeah.
Do you remember seeing me play? Bell Vegas? Did you ever see Bell Vegas?
I probably did because I went to a lot of the games. I do remember seeing Eric Lindros play, though. Sorry.
And you had Pat Peak.
Yeah,
That's Pat Peak
was the dude,
dog,
man.
Dude, if he didn't get injured, man, I always say it. Shout out to Peaker. Let's play some alumni. He was awesome.
He was like the only good player the Ambassadors had. They were bad.
I don't know what the what it's called, but it's like the mob, and it got into the biggest trash in Connecticut, and it was the son who was a 17-year-old was a GM. It wasn't what I thought it would be. It was on the fact about the mob and the trash, and okay, that's cool and all this stuff, and it was cool. I loved it because I'm huge into loyalty, but just the way it sort of played out. But this young kid at 17 did a heck of a job. Now he's in boxing and stuff like this. But I was so impressed. And Mike Rupp, who they lost in the finals to Kalamazoo that year, right? And then because of all the mob stuff and whatever, the team got disbanded. But I want to just say that as a hockey
I'm gonna
guy
watch
watching
this,
it.
What service is it on?
I think it was Netflix.
Okay.
AJ Galante, if you're wherever you are, bro, is props to you for having the passion to build that team and for what you wanted to do, and just I could feel the love and the passion for it. So I hope him big success. And to me, a lot of right, wrong, I'm not condoning, promoting, or saying anything, but I really appreciated that documentary as a hockey player and a kid that didn't, forget all of behind the scenes, but had the opportunity and his passion shone through. So Mike Rupp, who does NHL Network, was in the documentary and stuff because they signed him during the lockout, right? Well, 405, and he was one of their big players. But I just thought it was really cool. Now that some of the different culture stuff that has happened in the game or whatever else it is, to be able to come out. But you have to check it out. Does anybody know what anybody in the chat, if you know what that documentary is, so I don't have to look it up?
Pat Peak getting some love in the YouTube chat thread. J.R. Adams says, Peaker's a man. Love that dude. I did. I was a big Pat Peak guy back when he played for the Ambassadors. I bet Fish would have been a big Detroit Ambassadors fan back in the day.
Yeah.
He would have loved it.
Fish would probably love OHL hockey. We should probably
OHL hockey's great.
We should probably take him out to Flint or Saginaw
or
whatever like that.
Yeah, I do. I've been to more. There was a stretch where I went to more OHL games than NHL games. There was a stretch where that happened.
Where I grew up over in across the border with the Windsor Spitfires and stuff, that was like Adam Graves and Jungle Jim Revenberg, and that was the Paul Maurice, who's a coach in the league now. Pat Jablonski was their goalie lefty, and that's when they were awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we go there and those old barns, man, like that's the whole thing. That barn was a barn. Like you went in there and you were in the jungle. Like you had pennies, you had stuffed batteries. Like it was like when I say like it's the game's changed, but you knew it as an athlete, like as a player, you almost wore it as a badge of courage.
Yeah. Pistons fell last night at Little Caesars Arena to the 76ers, 109-98. And I again, as I said earlier, I watched pretty much every minute of this basketball game. And let me tell you something, guys. I know that there's been a lot of talk about it, and it's been a struggle, no doubt about it. And you look at the shooting numbers, and the shooting numbers for Cade Cunningham have been grim. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. He's fine, everyone. Watching him exclusively last night, I walked away feeling very good about Cade Cunningham because it's just a shot falling thing. That's it. Everything else was on point. The way he was able to rebound the basketball, the way he was able to run the offense. And granted, that offense struggled in the second half of the game, but you see that little shake move right there if you're watching. Look at that wingspan. That's the stuff I'm talking about with Cade Cunningham. Moves like this, he's taking it right into the teeth of the Sixers defense. That's Joel Embiid coming up to him, that he went up and around. Cade Cunningham's fine, everyone. Please remember this, and I said this when the season started. I'll continue to say it. The Detroit Pistons are the same team they were last year, but now they have Cade Cunningham. But everything else is pretty much the same. You feel me? There's got to be other things involved. There's got to be more additions to be made. This isn't going to be one of those things. You got Cade Cunningham, he's going to transform the franchise, and you're going to be in the playoffs this year. No, that's not it. Especially and I'm not making excuses for the guy, but it's a factual statement. Missed training camp.
No,
he did.
Absolutely.
He did. He missed training camp.
And being injured and having a slow start. You watched the whole game. I
watched every second.
Right, exactly. So you gave it the eyeball test. You give it that. I gave it the post-game test. Do you have that tweet, Sawyer? Check this out. You want to talk about you should be proud. This is Cade Cunningham. What does he say? The more we play with each other, the more we play for each other. Right there. Cade Cunningham quote last night after the game. Boom. Book it. Screw Jalen Green or whatever. I even forgot his name. He's so irrelevant because that is a man.
Jalen Green.
Thanks, Fish. That's a man right there. Right? That's a man, and the man behind what you're seeing. Okay? The we that play for each other. that just gives me warm. That's just putting the big Carhartt coat on with the Carhartt. Neal, you're going outside and you got the Carhartt pull-ons, you know, the long johns.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking, right? You lock them up because they buckle up and you feel that heat. And you put the coat on and then you put Sawyer's toque on and you're going outside with the mitts. Right, you're ready.
Like
to
you're
tackle.
going hunting.
You're ready, hunting, whatever. Clean off the car. Clean up the car. I don't know, whatever it is. But you're comfortable. That's what I saw is him developing in. Because you know what? I mean, this kid's a man.
No, he is. And again, as far as the draft went, there were 3 different picks available for 3 different flavors. And for Jalen Green, it was the guy that's going to score, that's going to go get buckets. And there comes a time where you need that dude on the team. There is. There was Evan Mobley, the big that can do a little bit of everything. And then there was Cade Cunningham, the guy that can run a team and do a little bit of everything as well. And Cade showed that. That clip that Sawyer played, that take at Joel Embiid, shows me, shows you, shows everybody that Cade Cunningham is fine because you can't teach that finish and that length. And again, he's showing it right now. Just that little shake. And here's what I'm talking about, guys. See how wide that arm gets? Joel Embiid, there's no defender in the league that can stop that. That's given by God. That's not something you can acquire. That's not something you can work on. You either have wingspan or you don't, and he does. And he looked like, again, eyeball test, looked like he belonged. And Rack, on our YouTube chat thread, says props to him for keeping his head up, didn't show any frustration, just kept going to the rack. And that's the other thing. When he's given a press conference or when he's on the floor, he's a leader, man.
Yeah.
Like there isn't panic, there's no blame, there's none of that. When it's a good play, he turns around and goes back up the floor. When there's a bad play, he turns around and goes back up the floor. Like it's just the way he operates, man.
So I guess it's, you know, you got to look and see in which organization it's got to be done differently because these guys have the corner piece, right? The big corner piece that we're talking about
and for what he does too, DMac. There's flexibility for him on the floor. The 1, the 2, the 3. He can do it. He can do all that.
I trust you, and I see. This is what I see. I see the energy and the excitement come out of you, who does this for a living and watches people, watches kids, watches basketball, sees the way it is. To me, as a casual basketball fan, when you said that's Joel Embiid, and I know Joel Embiid, he's like 7'1" or something, you know. So him driving lanes on him and Embiid's not a pushover, something like this, and going at it. That shows me attitude. Right? Not only maturity, shows me attitude, shows me lead, shows me everything that I want.
And he got to the free throw line. The last 2 games, I think there's been double-digit free throw attempts. As much as people don't like it, that is a part of NBA basketball today, where you do have to have the ability to get to the free throw line. Do all the top
players use that to their advantage?
They all do.
So you better play the game.
And he's not a 13% three-point shooter. And what got me excited, DMac, was last night was the first chance I really got to lock in and exclusively watch him. And as we talked about before, we played at Oklahoma State last year. I called one of his games last year. And my big selling point when I did podcasts or did interviews or stuff like that and talked about him was he had the ability to get to any spot on the floor that he wanted, and he had the ability to involve everyone, but at the same time had the ability to take it over, because that's exactly how our game against them went, where it was back and forth. We had the lead actually in the second half, and then when it was go time, he turned out the lights, and that's what he did. And I wondered, can he do that in the NBA? I suspected he could because of that body that we saw. Like if you look at him from the back, you see like just how much the jersey's stretched along the traps on the back. Like he's built different, dude.
And so imagine as he matures the next few years. You look at like even LeBron James at where he was. He's gonna get his man size too. So that's you're noticing things that are real things. The God-given ability, the wingspan to be able to finish the drive, you know, the on and off, the intelligence, all this is what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chuck says Killian looked good too, and keep reminding yourself these 3 guys on this team can't go to the bar with you. So I mean, those are the things.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, but again, it's factual, and for me, that's where it is. I mean, Killian, there are some questions about Killian. There's no doubt. Can he finish? Can he score consistently? Those are questions we're gonna see. As Drake said, we're gonna see. I'm not in any way, shape, or form concerned about Cade Cunningham. Not even a little bit. He's fine. Jeremy Grant's fine. Sadiq Bey is fine. Now you got to continue. And Troy Weaver will. He's shown. He flipped this roster in 12 months, man. Flipped the roster in 12 months. Made it look simple.
It's who do you trust, right? It's the same thing. It's who do you trust with your team? Who do you trust with your vodka? Who do you trust with your hair? Guys, girls, everybody, it's football season's back, but this weekend, right? Imagine having the ability to watch and not wonder if the Lions are going to lose or not, because they won't. But it's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircut for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty. We'll be right back.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy coming down the stretch on a Friday, going into the final half hour of the show. And big hello to everybody if you're listening on the radio on 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 WCSX HD2. My name is Neal Rule. He's DMac, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell, a keynote speaker. He's so big time that people are going to pay to be at a banquet where Joique Bell speaks. So you know what? Good for him. Fish in the bowl. Sawyer's in the house. Spencer over there as well. And don't forget, on iTunes, subscribe to the Big D Energy Podcast. You missed the show? Boom. Pops up on your phone? Boom. You got to mow the lawn maybe for the final time this weekend like I'm going to do on Sunday morning? Boom. I got a long Sunday lined up.
I did it already.
Did you? I got a long Sunday.
I did the front Thursday. No, what were we, Friday? Wednesday and back Thursday. So I'm good with the garage.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sunday's going to be a bear. There's no doubt.
By the way, I got people. We got people. My peoples told me to tell you guys. You're also my peoples. Untold Stories, Crime and Punishment. And nod, Sawyer, if I got that right.
Crimes and Penalties.
Crimes and penalties. Yes, Crimes and Penalties. Untold Stories. So check it out. The Danbury Trashers. That's what I was talking about. It's fascinating.
It is. There is no question about that. Don't forget, we got our picks coming up in just about 15 minutes, my Get Right special. You got to work again this weekend. Fun. You guys know, when I go to the Mountain West, you know I'm being serious about this. And 10:30 kickoff on Fox Sports 2. I'll just preview it like that. But, DMac, I did want to get into this Scottie Pippen situation. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but anytime I got the chance to go after Scottie Pippen, guess what? I'm going to do it. Scottie Pippen came out, and I understand he's got a book, and he's trying to push the book, and that's fine and all that stuff. But Scottie Pippen's upset with Michael Jordan, the way that The Last Dance, and you guys know it. We all watched it during COVID because it was the only thing on. But Scottie Pippen said he was upset, and NBA Central tweeted, he said, over the next few weeks, I spoke to a number of my former teammates who each felt as disrespected as I did. How dare Michael treat us that way after everything we did for him and his precious brand? And that was Scottie Pippen. And I would say, okay, Scottie. And then he was also quoted as saying, I was nothing more than a prop. He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried. And that's Scottie Pippen being dramatic.
Wow, seriously, I've had an ex like that. Not an ex-girlfriend. Psychotic. I mean, it's just like, where you think it's all about you. And you mentioned to me something about missing a game with a migraine.
Here's my angle with him all the time.
Who are the other guys that have said this or back? Give me names.
The fact of the matter is this: when it was Game 7, and you guys know this as Pistons fans here. I got the bad boy shirt on. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1990, playing at the Palace. Game 7, everything on the line. Trip to the NBA Finals on the line. And Scottie Pippen missed the game with a headache. And I know it was a migraine, and I'm not downplaying the migraine thing, but I am saying this. And I'll go to this guy right here to my left and ask him. Migraine headaches, sure, they're bad. They are.
You said playoffs, right?
If you're a person,
you said playoffs, right?
I said Game 7 of the playoffs.
But all you needed to say is playoffs. Like, the motivation is you're going to do whatever it takes to get out there. Steve Eisman played on one leg for a whole playoff series in 2002. No, we're built differently. It's a sacrifice, but that's I don't know. It's not even selfishness, but it's just self-centeredness more than anything.
But he was quoted in the 30 for 30 about the Pistons, where he said the pressure was building up so much and it was so intense that it gave me a headache. And he didn't play in Game 7 of the conference finals. Man, he tapped out, and I know it was a migraine or whatever. But DMac, you're getting out on the ice. You are. I know you.
Yeah, no. I mean, and that's not to say we're going to have an argument about migraines. No, it's the fact that how does Scottie, you can't allow it to get to the migraine point if this is what caused it, what you're saying, right? Because then
the pressure mounting.
You've built that up yourself instead of having an avenue to release that or talk about it or whatever to be more of a team. So wouldn't that be Michael Jordan taking the pressure on? Why was the pressure on the two guy?
It never was. And Chuck says it very well, too. How dare MJ allow you to ride his coattails to being a top 50 player? And that's, I think, at the root of all this, that's why it makes me laugh. That's why it makes you laugh. You benefited way more from Michael Jordan than Michael Jordan ever benefited from you or any other player on that team, to be honest. What do you got, Sawyer?
What do you think of this quote from Scottie? He said, Michael was determined to prove to the current generation that he was still larger than LeBron, the player many considered his equal, if not superior, and talking about The Last Dance.
That's kind of a separate argument, because for me, when you talk about like the greatest of all time, that's so open to interpretation, right? And for, if I were breaking down the LeBron v. Jordan thing, there are a couple different angles, and this is a tired sports bit. Like everybody, if you got nothing going on in July, this is what you go to. But with all that being said, that depends on, you heard me say this phrase all the time, DMac, that depends on what you're shopping for.
Yeah.
Right? Like LeBron is the ultimate physical specimen.
Oh,
LeBron translates to any era. LeBron is getting to the rim when he wants to. Now, Michael Jordan, on the other hand, the greatest competitor, one of the greatest competitors of all time. And a gamer, and someone who's going to get the job done, and someone who's not going to miss Game 7 with a headache. No way is he going to do that stuff. No. The guy, too, that when the Pistons beat him, he said, I made it the point that was a test of my resolve to where I had to change my body physically to be able to withstand the beatings. And you have to give Jordan, as much as I didn't want to at the time, being a kid and as a Pistons fan, you have to give him credit because he transformed his being for his craft. Didn't go in the gym and work on free throws or a jump shot. He changed the entire physical stature of who he was as a person because it was the only way through. It was the only way to get what he wanted. Versus Scottie Pippen, who tapped out of Game 7 of the conference finals.
Well, it's the thing. It's like, why are we even arguing that it's Michael's ship, right? And Scottie's like bitter because he's coming back because he thinks, hey, look at me, or hey, to me it's just a publicity stunt more than anything to sell books.
God, Sawyer keeps putting these quotes up here on the screen. Michael presented his story, not the story of the Last Dance. That was Scottie Pippen. You know what, Scott? Enough, Scottie Pippen. Enough. Just sell your little book and move on. But it's
Michael's, and Scottie's allowed his opinion or whatever like that, and obviously he's put it out there and stuff, and you can take what it is, but I mean, it's always Chicago is Michael Jordan, so it's sort of his narrative to go, right? It's sort of like I'm not. Please don't compare me to Scottie Pippen, but being one of the soldiers in the Army, it's just like saying I could, whatever it is, and Stevie says what it is for real, and we go, okay, it's that, right? Like, I mean, that to me, that's what but that just goes to show, different mentality where it was. Maybe it was more so just Michael versus the world, not even caring about the teammates and stuff like this. But where's the traction Scottie gets behind it? Guys coming out going, when guys want to say that, they come out and, it's like, listen, it's like, I don't talk bad about people, but if you ask me a question, I'll give you an honest answer. And that's what I do when people ask me about my opinion about Babcock. Right, as opposed to Scottie or whatever as a coach. I'll give you my experience, and then also, too, I wasn't there for a lot of stuff, but that's what he's allowed to do, but everybody else is allowed their opinion. You can fill it in.
Yeah, Chuck says, go ahead, Scottie, make your own movie and see who cares. And that's a great point, yeah. The Scottie Pippen Last Dance movie, I'm sure that will go over well. Again, it's just, I get it. Honolulu Blue Sparty says Scottie needs to sell books to pay his bills and a story. And I get that, and I know that's why he's doing it. And it works me up because he wasn't at that level. Was he a great player? Sure, he was a great player, I guess. He didn't seem to win anything when Jordan wasn't around, though, if you're into facts. And I have that at my disposal, so I can use that argument because it is a factual statement.
It is a factual statement.
There's nowhere to run. If Scottie Pippen were sitting here in that chair, I'd say, Scottie, you didn't seem to win any championships when Michael Jordan wasn't around. Your thoughts? Would you agree that the following is a factual statement, Scottie? You never won when Michael Jordan was there.
No, this is what Neal would do.
Is that factual?
Hi, Scottie. On this paper, there's your wins with Michael Jordan and your wins without Michael Jordan.
Discuss.
Yes. Can you verify for the crowd?
No, it's just... Again, I know what he's doing. I know why he's doing it and all that kind of stuff. And it's fine. Sell your book.
I just laugh if your MJ didn't care back then. What do you think he cares now? You think he's just going this, whatever his opinion. And you were bringing up something about, like, when Michael's dad died. Like, this goes way back. This is deep.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan talked about that where Scottie Pippen didn't come up to him and say, hey, sorry to hear about your dad or anything like that. Like, Scottie wants to portray it like he's the greatest teammate. And your line when we were talking earlier today before the show was the most perfect line about any of all this. And they said, do not ask Scottie Pippen if he's a good teammate. Go ask Steve Kerr if he's a good teammate.
Yeah.
Go ask Michael Jordan if he's a good teammate. Horace Grant if he's a good teammate.
All the guys he named.
Yeah.
That was in the one tweet that he said, oh, this guy's this, that, whatever. Go ask them. Right? Don't ask me if I was a good teammate. Go ask my teammates.
Right. And that's the teammates will tell you the story. And I got a feeling that all this is not going over very well with them. But, good luck, Scottie. Hope the book does well. Send one to Woodward Sports. I won't read it. All right.
Fish would.
Fish, would you read Scottie Pippen's book, Fish?
I mean, I don't read books, so probably not.
So you would say, hey, Scottie Pippen's book, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out of my library. Get out of my library.
Out of my library. No, Maz would. Maz would.
Oh, Maz 100% would read it.
Well, Maz he enjoyed that 80s Mets thing that they had.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Neal, what...
I have the Cliff
Mets?
Notes. Yeah, I have the Cliff Notes about the 86 Mets, 30 for 30. You have it. Pretty good baseball team.
Yep.
Team did a lot of coke.
Oh.
Team won the World Series.
Oh.
The end.
Oh, that's a pretty good story.
I just saved you hours.
Was the best.
Yeah. I just saved you guys hours right there. When we come back, it's Pick'em time. Of course, I'm going to get you right as well. We're rolling into a weekend here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell, a keynote speaker, as it were. So he is not here today. But I'm happy to have you all along for the ride on our YouTube chat thread, everybody that's jumping in, commenting, everything like that. And certainly, we do appreciate it. I was a big Dennis Rodman fan. The Pistons were dead then, so I rooted for Rodman. And that's fair. The Bulls, I respected Jordan because I think I told you guys earlier in the week, my biggest regret from when I was a little kid was hating the Celtics, and in particular Larry Bird, so much. Now, I still hate Robert Parrish, and I still hate Kevin McHale, and I still hate Dennis Johnson. And obviously I hate Larry Bird. But I hated them to the point where when they were on television, I would turn it off. And I didn't watch Larry Bird as much as I should have.
I forgot Red Auerbach.
And Bill Walton. But actually got to interview Bill Walton before, and he was a lot of fun. So, we made amends, even though he didn't know I was mad at him. But anyway.
Did he know he was there?
Yeah,
him and I would have a great conversation.
There'd be one question, and it'd be a 62-hour conversation. But, no, and I regret the fact that I didn't watch Larry Bird as much because I did grow to respect him as a player. And I did end up watching Michael Jordan, despite the fact that I hated him with the heat of 1,000 suns. But just remember, Isaiah Thomas beat all those guys. All those greats that everybody in the NBA world holds dear. One man was triumphant over all of them, be it Magic and Bird and Jordan. That was Isaiah Thomas. So, everybody, we got to get Isaiah on the show.
I'm just stating facts.
We do, man, because I need to speak. I need to speak the truth to him, and I want to ask him about that. Like, does it bother you the way that you're viewed? Because, and that would be my question. Does it bother you the way that you're viewed?
Oh, Neal.
Across basketball?
Yeah.
Because you beat all these guys. People forget that. Yeah.
Stating facts,
man. Stating
facts, Neal Rule.
Like you took a franchise, you took a dead franchise and put them on your back, an entire city on your back. You were an NBA All-Star Game MVP, Finals MVP, two-time champion, back-to-back champion. Like he's got nothing to explain. Nothing. The body of work's out there in a world that was built against them. Because let's be real, it was. What do you got, Fish?
Did I hear you said you want to guess? You know who to call if you want to guess. Tom Mazaway, the guy that has every single person in his contacts.
We're going to do that one day. We're going to get Isaiah on here.
I mean, you want a coach from the North Dakota Minneapolis high school? Boop, he's got it in his contacts. He's got everyone.
Right, absolutely. But it is time for Big D Energy Pick'em, and Fish, you can attest. I've been pretty sharp with these last couple weeks.
You have been pretty sharp with these.
I've been pretty sharp with these, but let's do it. DMac, Ohio State, number 5 in the nation at Nebraska. Ohio State, a 15-point favorite on the road. Now, I was told Nebraska's a real tough environment to go into, and any kind of win at Nebraska is big.
Who told you that? Michigan fans?
Even when they're
or
not
Michigan
ranked?
State?
Yeah, even when they're 3-6, I guess.
Even when they're 3-6.
Well, no, that doesn't fit the narrative anymore. So I guess when they're 3-6, it's not as big of a win.
Well, I take it from the perspective if I was Ohio State University and Ryan Day, their coach, and what is he telling them this week? Right, they're outside the 4. They're at number 5. They've lost a game to Oregon. They got work to do. They got to go out and they got to impress and keep doing and keep building. Now we can agree that loss happened early in the season. They look better. They look more like the old Ohio State now.
And it was to a team that's in the playoff right now.
Right, but didn't you make the right? Exactly. There you go. Oregon's at 4, sitting ahead of them. So, right. So the one thing is the mentality of Ryan Day, right? Which I like his mentality.
I do too.
So, and the way that he coaches and the respect he's got. So, to me, it's a different team than an Urban Meyer, a different team, than it has been in the past. And they're getting good. So they know this is a tune-up game, but we'll see. I guess Neal, if at all they're looking ahead, right? If at all they're looking ahead, do they get caught looking ahead? But I got to think Ohio State covers.
Mickey Phelps on the chat also says Isaiah should have had 3 rings, got one stolen from him in 1988 after they torched the Lakers in Game 6 on one leg, which is factual too. That foul that they called on Bill Laimbeer and Sawyer. If you want to see egregious,
which was worse, the call back on Pettigrew or the foul on Lambeer?
The foul on Lambeer was far worse because that determined an NBA championship. And I hate to go all spacey on you, Sawyer.
No, that's what
but it got brought up, and I feel as though it's important, and I'm just going to present it without comment, that Bill Lambeer against Kareem, when Isaiah had the game of a lifetime, still record that still stands to this day for points in a quarter in an NBA Finals game. I just want the world to remember, and I don't want it to be forgotten, that Bill Lambeer was called for a foul that was egregious, with the Pistons winning by 1 with, I think, about 15 seconds left in the game or something like that. It's just something that I still think about a lot. And it's something where I never want that image to die. Because if this happened today, especially in the day and age of social media, if this happened today, that people wouldn't be able to believe it because it's absurd.
Ooh, Spanish channel.
It's absurd and it's egregious. And the Lakers got that call. James Worthy in the 30 for 30 looked in the camera and admitted as such that was just a terrible call. 27 seconds left when the Lakers inbounded the ball. It's painful for me. I remember being a little kid and I actually cried. I actually cried when this happened. And I guess now older Neal would tell younger Neal, this is how it was going to happen. Look at this here. Look at Kareem just turns, was never touched. And they call the foul. It's criminal. There's a couple of still shots, Sawyer. And the look on Bill Lambeer's face, because he knows he just got robbed out of a title. The still shot is really the one where it hits home. And look at that. Bill Lambeer is just stunned. Just absolutely stunned. No contact, man. That was a foul, DMac. And it cost him a championship.
Did the shot go in?
No.
And that's back in the day when you can actually rough people up and get away with it.
I can't look at this anymore, Sawyer. You got to take it off the
screen. Wait. Hey, Sawyer, why would you bring that? Oh, Fish, why would you bring out?
Look at guys, look at that. This was a foul. That was a foul. That not only was that a foul, that was a championship-altering call. Can you imagine your guys' first cup being taken away on something like that? Could you imagine?
No. Couldn't. See, but but here's the thing. Pat Riley, and I'm not saying it, and Chuck Daly on the back, whatever like this, we have Scottie Bowman on our bench. Not saying you get the calls or whatever else, but, you know.
But I'm not saying you don't.
I'm not saying you don't. Both things can be true.
Both things can be true. And then,
yeah, that would suck.
Yeah,
I couldn't handle like the way knowing Bill Lambeer and how he that he took that so calm and everything like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have handled it like that, especially when you realized, because that's the worst.
It is, and it took a championship away from them. Now, luckily, they came back and got the next 2, but they should have had 3. But that got me off. That got me off point here. I will take Nebraska in this game. The noon kickoff is when you're traveling and you're Ohio State. The noon kickoff's weird. I believe it's 11 a.m. local time. I can never get it straight who has daylight savings time and who doesn't, but that's Saturday afternoon, so that'll be before it anyway. But that's another layer of
it's half. I think it's half of Indiana.
Yeah, half of Indiana. It's stupid.
Like 1/4 of Indiana is Eastern, 1 is Central. Right. That starts in November.
That's enough. I'll take Nebraska only because I think Ohio State will be lethargic for a little bit of time in that game. But in the end, they'll get the double-digit win. They just won't. And you win by double digits on the road, then you're okay. But in the end, I think they will. Wake Forest at North Carolina. North Carolina, 2.5-point favorite over undefeated Wake Forest.
Yeah, what do they know? What do they know? The money's on UNC.
They know the truth.
They know the truth.
Yeah, they know the truth.
This is the pop the bubble. This is over. Hate your spot Wake Forest game.
Sam Howell's going to put up some numbers too. Low key, I'm a big Sam Howell guy. Like Sam Howell for the Lions. I'm on that train.
Because of the selection
No, because he can make the. No, I do this weird thing. Like I watch him play a couple times. I know the Heisman voters don't, but I actually do. And
how do we get you a Heisman vote?
I don't know. I think you have to be nominated by someone that has a vote or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to be in their club.
Maybe Terry's got a vote.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be in their club at this point. I don't care.
You don't like those posh clubs.
No, I don't.
You like hanging with the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour in some
On
Gypsy
a
vodka and some
pontoon.
soda and watch CBS Sports Network Mountain West football. UNC's gonna win by double digits in this game. You want a good alt line pick? Take UNC minus the 9.5. Probably get you three-ish to 1. Go ahead and give that one a spin. Tulsa's at Cincinnati. At Cincy. Cincy, a 22.5-point favorite. For my brand, I'm taking Cincinnati to roll in this one.
Roll on, Cincy. Roll on.
What do you got, DMac?
No, I got Cincy too.
Do you? All right.
Yep.
Auburn's at Texas A&M. This is a good football game here. Texas A&M, 4.5-point favorite. But I was told Alabama lost to a scrub team in Texas A&M. That's weird.
I don't want no scrub.
They're a 4.5-point favorite over Auburn, huh? I think Texas A&M will win. What do you got, D-Mac?
I got A&M in the
Do
win
you?
too.
All right.
They're my favorite. I like the emblems, so they're my and I like the colors, the maroon and white.
Okay. So they're like a Team B-ish kind of for you?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I got you. All right, the two big ones, Michigan State at Purdue. Purdue down to a 2.5-point favorite. And you got, just for you that aren't in the betting circle, for a number to come off 3.
There's a lot of money to
I'm just saying.
Go to Purdue.
Who's betting on Purdue in this game? A lot of people.
Well, I saw on our network, if you flip through the YouTube or whatever, that there was a gentleman on the betting show that
Woodward Bets.
Yeah, Woodward Bets that thinks that Purdue's going to win this game too. So I don't. I think Michigan State takes care of business in this one. So they can have two. I think it's going to be double digits.
I'll pick Michigan State publicly, but this is a big. I think this game will tell you more about them than the Michigan game does. If that sounds weird, I know.
Because you don't have that's like when the adrenaline wears off when you break an appendage.
Yeah.
Or whatever else when the medication wears off, right? And it really hurts.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out, I think, about them. On the other side of the coin, the night game, Michigan, a 3-touchdown favorite, actually 20-point favorite. Indiana coming into the big house. I know Indiana has no chance to win this football game, but can Michigan cover 20 against them?
I think they can. I think that's too large of a number, but I think that if the consistency and they let Cade McNamara throw it like he did last week.
But do they see? Here's my feeling though, and this is why
I'm taking the other points because I think they're going to look for the win, maybe keep it on the ground and tighten it up more.
See, that's what I think they're going to. I think they're going to go back to the roots. I think that they are.
So what do you got in that one?
If they run it out, I think the more throws that Cade McNamara has, the higher the chance that Indiana covers a number, and the more rushes that they have, the higher the chance that Michigan covers a number. If that's, I don't know. I guess my answer is I don't know which one it's going to be. Just notice a correlation.
Which one are you going to?
I guess if I had to throw down, I think they're going to run it. And when you're 20 and not 21,
yeah,
I'll take it if it's 20. If it were 21 and a half, I'd take Indiana because you only got that 3-score threshold.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess I would take Michigan in this one. We'll take our final break. When we come back, I'm going to get you right. Certainly, there's no question about that. DMac's got some stuff popping this weekend. We'll get to it all. Man, it's exciting.
You know what it is? With all this excitement going on, and I'm going to tell you what I got going on this weekend. Neal's going to tell you how to double up your piggy bank there. But if you leave the house, you know what? Guardian Alarm, they got you back. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home and control the lights, the temperatures, detect smoke, or carbon monoxide. Hold on there a sec, right from one of these right here. It will even let you lock and unlock the doors. So, if you, like me, like Neal, like Fish especially, want to get a hold of Guardian, call 1-800.
Stay out.
Call 1-800.
Stay out.
Fish, it's Friday. We need to hear him in the back. I mean, you're in the fish tank, so give it to him. That's 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Get out of the fish tank. Stay out of the house. You can have the security that our man Fish does. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security expert. Come back here, Big D Energy. Tell you what's going on this weekend here, Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Final segment of the show here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty in the house. We're live at the My Bookie Studios. Fish in the bowl. Sawyer in the production booth with our guy Spencer as well. They're running security, I guess you could say, over there. But it is time for me to get you right. It's Get Right Saturday night. And look, we had some fun. And I told DMac about it like last week with the Michigan thing. That was more for amusement than it was for anything else. And DMac can confirm.
We call those shiggles.
Yeah.
Shiggles.
But we're back to our roots right now. The Mountain West has treated us very, very well this year so far. So we're going back, but you gotta work for it. And while it's not the typical one where you have to like stream it off the Mountain West website, which Fish we've had in the past.
We have.
This one you do got to work a little. We were talking about subscription services earlier, and you are going to have to dig a little to find out whether or not you get Fox Sports 2.
Heck yeah, FS2.
But this is where you got to go because it's where this one is going to be. San Jose State at Nevada, and doing the research on there. San Jose State's quarterback Nick Starkel, who was at Texas A&M, who had success against Alabama in a game against Alabama before, is listed as questionable. I don't think he's going to make it back for the Spartans in this football game. And Nevada's been on a roll, folks.
Where's Nevada located?
Wolfpack.
Reno. West side of Nevada, over by the California border.
Yeah, they're basically touching California,
Absolutely.
right? They're very close to it.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a 4-hour trip.
Yeah, about a four-hour trip if you're San Jose State.
Are they
on ground.
busing or flying?
I would believe they would bus for this one. I would believe because it's close. You know what I'm saying? It's 4 hours.
Well, I don't know if you called your San Diego State people or San Jose State people.
Yeah, well, no. Like usually, I'll just look at flight itineraries, and I didn't see one for San Jose State.
Got it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do colleges go in a day early or the day of?
They go in a day early. Sometimes if they go to Hawaii, they'll go in 2 days early just because of that massive time difference. So sometimes I look into those travel itineraries and see what the story is. I did not see a flight one.
The travel itineraries.
So that's where we're at with this one. I'm going the Nevada Wolfpack. They're currently at 10.5. And look, I wanted to do this on Thursday, and DMac can confirm. I always run everything by DMac, so when I say it later,
I confirm
the
because
beacon
I'm
of truth
not
is
only
here.
the head of HR and accountability. There you go.
He's a beacon of truth as well.
He did
and
true.
I wanted to do it Thursday. Like, I wanted to spin off on Thursday's show and just jump in and say, hey, I need to do an emergency, get right. But it ruins a surprise, and people look forward to it. Earlier in the week, Nevada was 9.5, and I would really be more comfortable with 10 than I would be with 10.5. But on our MyBookie line that we're looking at, I like 10 a lot more. So if you're into it to the point where you buy numbers, it costs you double the juice or whatever. I know that mathematically that's not a value play over the long term to buy numbers. I would feel a lot better with it at 10 than I would be at 10.5. But hey, if you have a good Saturday, get after it. Lay the 10.5 all the way. Go all the way in. If you are looking to get right, because that's the deal. If it roughs you up a little bit on Saturday, say you take the Spartans and they take the L, or say you take Ohio State, Nebraska covers. I'm going to get you right on Fox Sports 2. Take Nevada over San Jose State. Lock and load. And you know me, DMac. I'll be watching every second of it because I go all the way in with these things. And it's what I do. It's how I operate. And that's in my gut, DMac. That's where we are. And I think Nevada really will score some points. San Jose State has struggled on the road.
Sounds good. I'm just locking it in.
You're locking it in now?
Not your bet. The fact to turn my phone to silent at 2 in the morning or 1:30 because it's got to go back. Fish said daylight savings time. Let's not forget it. But I'll take that into consideration as everybody else should. But
what do you got going, DMac?
I got a busy weekend. Tonight, obviously, my Friday night WJR show, 7 to 8 o'clock. Myself and our buddy Sean Belegian We'll be chopping it up, what's going on, but I'll be heading right over there, 15th anniversary for the pro wrestling over in, what does that say, Taylor?
Taylor, Michigan,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
over in Taylor. So all these guys that I've seen on the indie scene, I know Johnny Bravo from Impact Wrestling's there, and it's just a great night. Ace Austin will be there. So I'm getting in the ring this time, not wrestling, but I'm refereeing. I'm the trio's guest referee. So props to my boy Brian Gorey and official SPO Sean Patrick, who've given me tips on refereeing, because Neal, no shenanigans. And then that's tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, noon, at the Civic Arena, St. Clair Shores, the
you're
Detroit
making me tired,
Red Wing
D-Mac.
alumni. We have we have a game. I'll be out there playing. I'll be also signing autographs after. And stuff like that. So we got a pretty good lineup. I know Joey Kosher's playing, Eddie Meal's playing, a lot of the local. I didn't see Peaker sometimes plays. I know Brian Smolinski, former Sparty's playing and stuff. So we have a good time. And then I will be down. The Vegas Knights are in town. I'll be doing Game Day Live for anybody going to the Red Wing game. Come by and see me outside Portal 10, I believe.
That's it.
Is that right, Tammy? Am I outside Portal 10?
That's where you were on the first night, so I would assume yes.
Fish got me right. That's Tammy. Yeah.
Man, that's a long day. We had a long day here, man. That show flew by today. Absolutely. People do seem to support
You know
the
why
event.
I did? Because I gotta go clean that garage right now. So wish me luck, and thanks everybody for a great week out there, and be safe on this weekend, and do not forget to turn your clocks back on Saturday night, because Fish won't be there to remind you.
Absolutely. Tonight, ESPN Plus, Oakland basketball final exhibition game against Lake Superior State. I'll be on the call with Rex Walters on that. Saturday at 4, TV 20, Detroit City FC final home match. I'll be on the call for that as well. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Deuces.
Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.